Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to the Farmer's Table. My name is Jess. I'm so glad you're here in my kitchen this evening. I'm not here to teach you anything today, so lower the expectations real low. Fair, isn't that right? Sometimes we just gotta lower the expectations. Today, I spent the entire day preparing content for future Farmer's Table videos. I did tons of reading, gathering recipes that I've made from my vast cookbook collection. I spent so much time like meal planning, making ingredients lists, typing recipes, that I didn't make a plan for dinner. So it's now 6 o'clock in the evening. I ended up throwing something together. It's ground beef. I just threw this together. Dried onions, dried garlic, ground ginger, soy sauce, brown sugar, essentially kind of like a teriyaki beef situation. I know I just made fried rice on my last video. That was Friday night, so that wasn't that long ago, but my kids won't complain. They actually love this dinner, and I mean, it's meat with sugar on it, so I understand why. So I have a lot of ideas of things that I want to share with you guys, and I am so thankful. There are so many of you who are here, who are new, which I'm actually, one of my ideas of things I want to do is I want to make like a channel intro kind of introducing us, but I've never done that. And this is going to kind of serve as the interim introduction before I do something a little more official. But if you're new here and you don't know anything about me, you don't know anything about my family, we actually have been here on YouTube for the last 6 years. This channel is brand new. We decided, I guess, I don't remember when I started this, I think it was somewhere around November, a couple months ago, that we wanted to start sharing more from the kitchen. But my husband Jeremiah and I have been YouTubing on our original channel called Roots and Refuge Farm since 2018 regularly. I think I started the channel in 2015. Been making content for a long time. On that channel we share all about the garden and raising animals, kind of just the homestead life. And previously I would share there the kind of stuff that I've been sharing here, sort of recipe videos, harvest to table. The algorithm on YouTube is quite a beast. You have to learn how to navigate it if you're going to make content, and frankly it's a little bit hard to navigate sometimes, because I am just as passionate about what I create in the kitchen as I am about what I create in the garden. But when I was sharing this on that platform, essentially what we call it is it died in my algorithm. So I would make like a great cooking video where I harvested farm to table. I actually have one in mind I'll put a link to, where I harvested all the stuff for this like fermented pea salad, and the video just did terribly compared to my other videos, but it was great and I loved making it. Basically the thing I came to, I'm very passionate about food, in case you have not noticed, and I'm very, very passionate about people having accessibility to food, having options with their food. I think that so much of what we feel oppressed by, as far as our lack of resources and our lack of options, a lot of times it comes down to our dependence on convenience. And I know that I have found so much freedom in my life, especially when it comes to stretching my budget, with cooking real food from scratch. I have this very interesting fascination with like the Depression era and the World War II era. I love learning about people who like made it work through a hard time because they had skills. I tell people all the time, if you have a dream of food sustainability, to turn your waiting room into a classroom. And that is ultimately what brought me to the kitchen, and what really inspired me to start the Farmer's Table and turn on the camera as I cooked dinner. Now, I have said before, and I will say again, I really wasn't trying to make a cooking show. I'm really trying to make dinner. And I do see the value in that. I'm a mom. I have 6 children. My daughter, she's my stepdaughter, my bonus girl, my only girl. She is a freshman in college. And then I have 5 sons at home. My oldest son is graduating this year and he's going to college, thankfully somewhat close by. But I've been cooking from scratch for the last 20 years. And truly by necessity. There's no way in the world that I could have afforded to raise all of these kids on convenience foods. So I learned to cook from scratch out of necessity. I learned because my budget was not covering what I needed it to cover. And I learned very quickly that a lot of what we were paying for at the store was convenience. And we cook really real food here. And one of the things about not trying to make a cooking show is that my family is eating the food that I am showing you guys how to cook. Now today, as I spent the day working on the farmer's table, I was testing recipes over here. A couple of muffins, blueberry muffin, turned out really good. I'll probably show you guys that one. This strawberry muffin, totally tanked. Kids ate it for snack after school anyway. It tasted fine. It was just the texture was weird. But that's really like where we're at. This is a real family, a real kitchen. And I know that you guys are cooking for real families in real kitchens. And my real hope here is to be able to encourage you in that, equip you, and also just stand beside you. One thing that I love and what I've been able to do in my original channel, Roots and Refuge, is kind of just be a friend in gardening and in raising animals and in pursuing like a more natural back to basics life. I know for me, my experience whenever I started cooking from scratch, whenever I started growing my own food, I didn't have a lot of local community around that. It really wasn't until I originally turned on the camera that I found my people in a very large way. And though I do have some relationships spanning back from before that time, a lot of my closest relationships came from people I connected with through YouTube. Community is so important, and one thing that I'm really hoping to be able to do here on the farmer's table is to just be a person that whenever you turn on these videos, you feel inspired to get in the kitchen and to take that freedom and to find that relief from the financial burden and to find joy in cooking. I know mindset is everything. I'm a big believer in that, and for many of us, we have to feed our families. It's just part of it. But what if that could be our hobby? What if that's something that we found a lot of joy in, a lot of pride in? What if we wanted to do it? That changes everything. And I think that when you can turn on a video and you can connect with a person in some small way that is finding joy in cooking, that is finding accomplishment and excitement and passion in the kitchen, then you get to kind of like tap into that and also experience that, and it makes all the difference in the world. Because I know for me, the kitchen tasks, I've got to do them whether I feel like it or not. And sometimes it's not fussy. It's like tonight where I literally just throw something together without much fanfare. Is it going to be the best thing anybody ever ate? No, it's not. But it's not convenience foods. It's sourced well. I know where it came from. I know what's in it. Ultimately, even my cheat nights these days are looking way better than our average diet did 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and I want to share that with you guys. So, all of that to say, I decided I would make a really quick video just checking in with you tonight and asking you, what is it that you need a friend to come alongside you in your kitchen and share with you how to do? I am self-taught as far as being a home cook. A lot of that came from necessity, because when I started gardening, I found myself absolutely inundated with certain crops during certain times of year. I found myself with tons of eggs coming from our chickens and meat coming from our farm, lots and lots of milk coming from our farm, and then of course the garden is so seasonal. There are times a year where literally my kitchen table is completely buried in tomatoes. So I learned what to do with them, and that's what I want to share with you guys. But if there's anything specifically that you're like, hey, I'm really struggling with this, I don't understand this, I hear people talking about this and I'd like it broken down, making things elementary is kind of like a little skill set I have, because that's what I have to do to understand things. Sometimes people are like, in the garden, Jess, you're such a great teacher. You just make things so simple to understand. That's because it's processed through to the way that I understand it. I'm very simple in my thinking, and I somehow can communicate that to you. I probably oversimplify things sometimes, but ultimately in the kitchen, it's not that hard. And if you have a desire to learn how to cook, you can totally do it. And just with a little bit of practice and cultivating a little bit of passion in yourself, it can genuinely change the way you are approaching feeding your family. You can save so much money by not being so dependent on the store, by not being dependent on conveniences, and obviously obviously it's way better for your body to be able to feed it food that it recognizes, that's not terribly processed, that's not full of ingredients you don't have any clue what they even are. And that's totally accessible to you. So I would love to know, what can I help you with? What can I come alongside you with? What can I share with you? Because in 20 years of cooking from scratch, I have learned a thing or two. I still have a lot left to learn, and I love learning new things. I'd love to know who you're learning from, because I would probably enjoy reading the things that they write or following them on social media. So please, I just wanted to make a place that I could dialogue with you guys, my viewers. I'd also really love to know, did you follow me over here from Roots and Refuge? When I get comments from people who just found us on the Farmer's Table, it is very exciting to me. Now, if you followed me over from Roots and Refuge, thank you. You're so precious to me. I'm not dismissing that, but I've had multiple people comment about how they found us here, and that's very exciting to me, because I know there are a lot of people that are just kind of making the foray into cooking from scratch that have not even touched the idea of growing their own food, and that's completely fine. I'm here for you too. But I would love to know, where'd you come from? How'd you come across us? What are you hoping to get here? Because I want to help you. All right, well, I'm gonna serve my children up their super fast dinner. Thank you for hanging out with me today and all the days you do. God bless you. Until next time.